back, Huskies, to the very first edition of Husky Headlines this year.
I'm Sumner Harold.
And I'm Abby Allen.
After a long break from school, we have a special and spooky edition of Husky Headlines prepared for all of you.
Up first, Allie tells us about the different learning options currently available to students.
With the coronavirus pandemic being a major concern to many people, the Blue Valley School District has created 3 different learning modes for students: virtual, flex, and hybrid, which is the current system for in-person learning. All students follow an alternating odd and even block schedule. In the virtual mode, teachers have each class period split into 2 Zoom sessions, repeating the same material in both. This was done to reduce class conflicts as much as possible. After the Zoom a student initially attends is done, they are released to go to a Zoom meeting for a different class or to work on any asynchronous work.
The virtual ed experience so far this year for me has been oddly similar to fourth quarter. It feels oddly optional, even though it isn't, but I do feel more lax than if I was in the school environment with the pandemic going on. Motivation and drive to get assignments done before 5 minutes before they're due is really hard because everything is laid out for you, so you don't feel the need to go about it piecemeal. Mostly out of health concerns, mostly for my family. My parents are obviously still susceptible to the disease, and I obviously don't want to get sick, even if I'm not as high of a risk. It definitely doesn't feel as secure being online as it did fourth quarter last year, but I still would prefer it than going in for hybrid or in-person because it just feels like the safer alternative.
In the flex model, students have some classes using the virtual ed model and some for the in-person model. On their day or days in the building, these flex students are to report to their in-person classes, then head home for their virtual ed classes. These students follow the guidelines for both of the learning models.
For me personally, I'd rather either be all online or be all in person. So I know online, for me, sometimes I do get distracted, but it is important that we all stay on topic and everything and on task. As for in person, I think some of the risks are that you do expose yourself to things we don't really need to be exposed to. I don't think if we're just going to be on our computers, I don't think there's any reason to be at school and expose ourselves to COVID. I mean, if you're doing like anatomy, let's say, they do dissections and lab stuff, and that I get that we need to be in person for that. That's 100% reasonable. But I mean, like math, I think we can pretty much do on Zoom.
The in-person students are currently operating under a hybrid model in which students are split in half based on last name. Students will be in the building for 2 days in a row, an odd and an even block day. Then the other half of the alphabet will do the same. While in the building, students are required to wear a mask and follow arrows that direct their movement around the building, so students and staff are only moving in one direction around the school. Students still have lunch within the building. There are 11 lunch shifts, with students located in different parts of the school. All 3 locations are set up to maintain social distancing while masks are off for eating. When not in the building, students check in via Zoom with their teachers at the beginning of the hour and complete any work assigned from home.
I'm not really sure how sustainable hybrid is in long term. Like, are we doing this all year? And if that's the case, then it's going to be a lot on teachers, it's going to be a lot on students. It's not just me, right? Like, it's both sides of the coin. And I only see you every 4 days, and I'm rushed on the one day on Zoom I see you. I can't really spend time. And so just really concerned about students falling behind. That's probably my biggest concern, is just making sure that students coming into this hybrid are not feeling that they can't ever catch up. We've been told over and over, we're doing the best that we can with what we have. I believe that, but sometimes I also feel like there's too much vagueness and ambiguity.
Regardless of the chosen learning style, the Blue Valley School District is trying to do its best to keep all students and staff safe while still providing an education. This is Allie Brenneman and Ava Weldy for Husky Headlines.
Hey, have you found any fun and creative masks to wear to school?
Yeah, I try to color coordinate my mask to my outfit.
I just wear a black mask every day. Maybe Mrs. Stolman could help me step up my mask game.
During the pandemic, math and engineering teacher Karen Stolman has taken up the hobby of making masks for her friends, family, and coworkers.
I started making masks pretty quickly after we stayed home for spring break. I make what's called a pleated mask. This is the style that I make for most commonly. These are the ones, I've made about 600 of these masks.
Mrs. Stolman first called us to tell us that she had been busy making masks. I think she circulated the whole city because I think she went to about every math teacher and other teachers' houses. So the first ones were just generic ones, and then I gave her this fabric, and so I didn't expect it to come back to me. And then she just kept going and going and going and going.
I just got out my sewing machine, which I like to sew, got that out, grabbed some fabric that I had from other projects because all the stores were closed. Put together some masks there, found that they were useful for us, and then just as something that I could do to protect my friends and family, I started offering for them Then I opened it up for Blue Valley Northwest staff. At first I was really writing them down, and then that just became silly. It was more that I got to the point that I was writing them down because at first I had so many orders come in. Since that's kind of slowed down and people are kind of slowly asking for masks now, I don't write them down, but I think it's right around 600.
I love the fact that Ms. Stolman took it upon herself to make masks for basically the entire staff. I am actually wearing the very first mask that I got from Ms. Stolman, so this is the first one she made for us, and this is the pattern that she used for lots of them. Very nice that we have an inside where we could put a filter if we wanted, and then she made us masks for like my college, and I got a Chiefs mask and math masks, and then ultimately she changed her pattern a little bit. This is the most recent one that I got, which is a Halloween mask and reversible for our Northwest colors.
My favorites would have to be the Snoopy ones because I really like Snoopy, and it's just really sweet that she did that for me. Mrs. Stolman, out of the kindness of her heart, did all these things for people. Some people she didn't know, some people she does know, and she is just a very, very giving woman.
If you'd like to know how to make a mask for yourself, check out How to Make a Mask on the Husky Headlines YouTube channel. This is Aaron Tribby and Abby Allen for Husky Headlines.
Hey Sumner, how's choir going this year?
Well, it looks a little different. Emily tells us why.
In late September, the school received the news that Beth Ritchie, Blue Valley Northwest choir teacher, was taking a leave of absence beginning October 2nd due to personal reasons.
A leave of absence is something our district offers to its employees where they are still a member of our community. They're still employed by the Blue Valley School District, but they're able to take a sabbatical and be out of the classroom for any number of reasons.
For the past 5 years, Ritchie had worked hard to shape and grow the Northwest Choir program.
One of the things that our choir program has been over the last few years is a beacon for the talent our students have. We have run a program here that showcases incredible singers.
Not only did Ritchie hold students to a high musical standard, but also formed connections with them on a personal level.
Not only does she teach choir, but she also teaches good life lessons about stay organized, be on time, basically just how to be a better person. Choir's always been kind of a place where I can just go and kind of just de-stress and just sing out whatever's been bothering me. She forms that really kind of tight-knit bond as in a family.
She always makes sure that we're all doing okay, and she always lets us know that she's there for us if we ever need to talk to her. And I think that's really admirable about a teacher, and I really like that I've made that connection with her over the years because I feel like I can't do that with every single teacher.
With the leave of absence likely to last until the end of the school year, the district decided to hire a long-term substitute to continue running the choir community that Ritchie has created.
Dr. Josh Donaldson is coming to us after just completing his doctoral degree from the University of Kansas in choral conducting. He has a really long-standing career in choral-based music who will help continue, for the time he's with us, help continue to shape a really high-quality program.
While it's unclear how long Ritchie will be gone, her students say she has left a mark on Blue Valley Northwest and will be missed greatly. Ritchie declined to be interviewed for the story. This is Emily Natanova for Husky Headlines.
Hey Abby, you're in cross country, right? How's it going this year?
Well, we just won the EKL title last week, and we're hoping to win a regional and state title in the coming weeks. We turn to Allie with more on the story.
After finishing first in the state her freshman year and setting a school record, senior Riley Beach has faced numerous injuries that have prevented her from participating in a full cross-country season since 2017.
So I've been doing cross-country since 7th grade. I ran a club. I didn't run for the school. Starting in 7th grade, I kind of just learned to appreciate the sport. I was still focused on other things, but I knew from the first day that I showed up to that practice that it was something that I was going to continue to do. And then freshman year, I decided that I was going to try to run the sport and just kind of see what I could do and have some fun with it. I ended up winning the league, regional, and state meet, as well as breaking the school record. And then I had some ups and downs with some injuries, but still tried to stay consistent and still loved the sport the whole time. And now I'm going into my senior year. Started off the year breaking my own record, which was super exciting.
Since Beach's freshman year, both she and the team as a whole have improved. Having set the school record for a 5K as a freshman with a time of 18 minutes and 25.7 seconds, Beach recently crushed this time on September 19th with a time of 18 minutes and 3.5 seconds. The team is currently ranked second in the state so far this year under Ian Frazier. This is Frazier's third year coaching cross country at Northwest and his first year as the head coach, taking over for Matt LeCount this fall.
So we had a lot of kids, really take accountability over their training over the, initial stay-at-home quarantine period of, fourth quarter last year. A lot of kids kind of used that time to, focus a little bit more on running, while the kind of focus on school and life was a little bit, muddied. Once we kind of got back to training as a group over the summer, we had kids just continue to thrive, because they had already been consistent for so long. Really, that consistency when paired with their just kind of innate, hunger to compete, especially having not had a spring to compete, it's just kind of led to some flourishing groups, some flourishing athletes.
We used to not be as mentally strong. We would go in and we weren't as prepared mentally. We would just kind of go out and race, and now we have mindfulness and we visualize everything that's going to go on in the race, and that helps us mentally a lot because we're more calm and prepared for what's going to happen.
Despite general improvements in the team, a 2-week quarantine for the girls team has resulted in fewer races for them.
We've had a lot of challenges, getting quarantined in the middle of the season. That's not something that's easy to overcome, but this group of girls, we've clicked together so well that it just kind of felt like another just little bump in the road, and we knew that our goal was still the same by the end of the season, and that the only thing that we could control was our mindsets, and through that I think that we really have set up for success in the future, and no matter what comes down our way, I know that we're going to be able to face it as a team and face it well. These next couple meets, October 31st, that's our priority, and all we've been putting to work since the day we knew that track was done. It was, all right, we're focusing for state, so just really trying to make sure that we're staying as safe as possible, and I think that I have no reason to be concerned about how my team's going to perform on that day because this is what we've been preparing for, and this just is an amazing group of girls, so I look forward to seeing them get as much success as possible, and I know that whatever we face, we're going to get through it and come out better for it.
Beach won the EKL race on October 15th, and she and the cross-country team look forward to ending the season strong and hope to perform well at regionals this Saturday and state on October 31st. This is Allie Brenneman for Husky Headlines.
I don't think our reaction times are fast enough, but the new live stream cameras being installed follow the action of the game for the best viewing experience.
Because fans, excluding immediate household members, won't be able to attend athletic events this year, all of the high schools in the Eastern Kansas League are currently having live stream cameras installed in their main gyms and on their football and soccer fields. The camera installations are planned for baseball and softball in the spring as well.
The camera, it'll either focus on the whole field, one section of where the ball is, say we're doing football or soccer, based on where the action is, it'll follow the action on its own. With volleyball, it'll just basically pan out over the court and the cameras won't move.
With this new technology comes a cost for viewers.
The subscription for the Pixelot cameras is through the NFHS network, and it's $10.99 a month. You have access to anything that the National Federation High School Network puts out there. So if there was a game at Aquinas, you would be able to watch the game at Aquinas because all the EKL schools got those cameras.
A new system like this presents challenges for both the players and the administration.
The game feels a bit different just because, when you look up there's not as many fans cheering you on.
We usually have a big football section every single time, and they're always screaming for us, so I feel as though the energy is a lot more mellow and the games aren't as fun.
Our main issues were that we didn't realize that the cameras had to go onto the network. There's actually a PC that has to go onto the network, and just trying to get all the firewalls and everything put up with IT to be able to make it to where we can put those cameras on our network has been a little tough because it's a lot of work on their end. The fact that the Kansas State High School Athletic Association partnered with the NFHS network, they came back and said, if all the EKL schools do it, then we'll give you the cameras for free. But then now we're on their timeline. And so they have so many installations in the area. That's been the hardest thing, is just them being able to get out here to get all the cameras put in, with 10 of them going in our district alone.
While playing and viewing sports this year will definitely look different, there are positives to these new live stream cameras.
It makes me feel good that friends and family can still watch the game. And I think it's really cool. I have aunts and uncles that if they can't come to a game, if it's an away game, then it would be really nice for them to watch it.
It feels great knowing that friends and family can still watch the game, just because They've cheered for me my whole life, and I want them to support me through everything. I think it's going to bring the community more together because people that normally wouldn't go out and watch the games can now just click on their phone and watch it. So I think there's going to be a lot more fans now.
I think positives, one is now everybody's going to have an opportunity to watch our games, and we'll be able to do all of our sub-varsity events in those facilities. Everything will be live streamed, and so that's something that wouldn't have been done before. Also, our coaches can use those cameras for practices, so they can film their practices and be able to go back and watch those.
These new live stream cameras will be up and running soon, so make sure to tune in and watch your friends play. This is Sumner Harold for Husky Headlines.
While we're on the subject of sports, Seth tells us more about the football team's winning ways this year.
While off-season conditioning started on June 15th, the football team wasn't allowed to do any football-related activities until the district started easing up on restrictions.
We started implementing the offense and defense probably in early July. And really it was kind of a different year just with all the things that COVID prevents and didn't allow us to do. But maybe in some ways it was nice because we got to focus on the fundamentals a little bit more rather than just jumping in and going and playing a padded scrimmage in the summer.
It was way different this year with COVID and everything. We didn't really do as much conditioning, more of practicing and just kind of getting stuff down, the basics.
While the preseason wasn't the same as it is in previous years, the team has gotten the year off to a good start. According to Ryder, part of their success comes from their motto, pull the sled.
Now, pull the sled is one of those things that, it kind of goes into a lot of things that we've talked about for the last 3 years, but I think for us, just having something to rally behind and having an easy way to explain teamwork and having an easy way to explain, when things don't go well, you're facing tough conditions in the wild.
I think just locking into the program, and because we knew we had the talent, and just locking into the program and the motto, pull the sled, and just coming together as a team.
Coming together as a team and being leaders is something we are seeing from the senior class this year, both on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side.
I wouldn't say we have the huge impact on the field, but it really comes down to preparation and practice, and I feel like our seniors are definitely some of the hardest working people on the field, and if you can prepare for practice and you can have those seniors step up and do well on scout team and give the opposing side a better look for the week, that's how I feel our senior class does a really good job, is just getting the team prepared and leading.
I think the biggest turnaround about the defense is the mindset that has been brought by Coach Ahern. When it comes to turnovers, I always feel like turnovers is a mindset, and you're going to go after the ball. We want to be very aggressive, and we want to try to get the ball back and force negative plays because negative plays and turnovers are the two easiest ways to get opposing offenses off the field.
The offense has also been aggressive in running the ball, whether that's a draw or getting it to Stubblefield, as well as a passing game, making those plays down the field.
Grant's provided just some assurances to the offense. I mean, he's a dynamic running threat, but anytime you can run the football, that opens up the passing game. So, that's a good thing for Mikey and the receivers when Grant's having a good game, because that just means that they can't drop back in coverage. They've got to bring more guys in the box.
Starting out the season with a 3-0 record, the team was well on its way to a winning season. The team dealt with a tough loss against our rivals Blue Valley North. After this loss, the team is trying to stay positive to the road to the playoffs and hopefully state.
Staying positive after we lose, it starts at practice the next week. We can't let ourselves get down, because we know the next game is more important, and we always have a great shot of winning.
Right now, we want to talk to our players about going 1-0 and just win the next game. And if we start putting things like the state championship game in our minds, then our focus wouldn't be on the game at hand. And so if we go 1-0 each week, the result will take care of itself.
With the playoffs on the horizon, the team plans on taking it 1 week at a time and working to better themselves week by week. This is Seth Williams and Lucy Felsay for Husky Headlines.
Now it's time for this year's first edition of Top 10 with Aaron Tribby.
Good afternoon, Northwest. I'm Aaron Tribby, and here's this month's edition of Top 10. At number 10, we have senior Jared Young making a diving save against Rockhurst. The Huskies sadly lost this one 1-0. At number 9, we have junior Nick Cusick catching a 53-yard touchdown from Mikey Pauley in a 34-27 loss against Blue Valley North on October 9th. At number 8, we have junior Zach Yates catching an interception in the game against Blue Valley. This sealed the win for the Huskies in the season opener. The Huskies would win this one 24-17. At number 7, we have junior Andrew Mason finishing 10th in the cross-country meet on October 8th at Shawnee Mission North. At number 6, we have sophomore Reagan Koth sinking a putt on September 22nd at Shawnee Golf and Country Club. At number 5, we have senior Maddie Clark spiking the ball to get a kill versus Blue Valley Southwest off a set from freshman Lauren Crom. The Huskies won the match 2-1. At number 4, we have junior Andrew Mitchell scoring a hat trick on September 22nd versus Blue Valley, leading the Huskies to a 4-1 win. At number 3, we have junior Mikey Pauley scoring 6 touchdowns against Blue Valley West. He rushed for 2 and passed for 4. 2 of the scores were caught by junior Stephen Witter. The other 2 were caught by juniors Drew Kaufman and Max Muehlberger. The Huskies would win this one 40-17. At number 2, we have sophomore Emily Chasen and senior Rhea Desai finishing first in doubles at the girls tennis regionals in Gardner-Edgerton. This also helped the team place second overall. Breaking news, they also finished third in doubles at state on October 17th. And finally, at number 1, we have senior Riley Beach finishing first at the cross-country meet on September 19th. She also set the school record for the fastest time for a 5K, beating her own record set her freshman year. This is Aaron Shirley with the help of Max Smith bringing you this month's edition of Top 10 Plays.
Sumner, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I thought I'd just put on my Starbucks apron and be a barista.
Lame. Have you planned how you're going to stay safe for this Halloween? Kendall sure has.
If you're anything like me, dressing up for Halloween is a must. I've dressed up for Halloween for as long as I can remember. This year is a little different. With coronavirus cases on the rise, it's important to stay safe this Halloween. So here are 4 pandemic-proof costumes to get you through this Halloween. Our first perfect costume is a black cat. Wear all black clothes and either make or buy cheap cat ears and a tail. Then get an all-black mask and draw on some whiskers. Everything you need for this costume is in your closet. Pull out some jeans, a flannel, and boots. To make this pandemic-friendly, tie a bandana around your nose and mouth. You can also add a cowboy hat. For this costume, all you need is an orange shirt, an orange mask, and a Sharpie. Add a jack-o'-lantern smile to your mask and you're done. Glue a small pumpkin to a headband for an extra touch. Grab a ski mask and some black clothes and you're set. This bank robber costume would be a great costume to do with your friends. Put a mask under your ski mask for extra protection. To take the costume up a level, get an old pillowcase and add a $sign to put your heist money or candy in. For my final costume, I suggest heading over to your local thrift store or borrowing some scrubs for a super easy and comfortable costume. Not only does this costume involve a mask, but also gloves. Whether you're trick-or-treating or partying, do so responsibly. Happy Halloween! This is Kendall Nobriga for Husky Headlines.
I feel bad for you, Sumner. Kinda stinks to be a senior this year with all the school changes.
Yeah, this year definitely looks different. Grant tells us how some seniors are feeling.
The 2020-2021 school year has been a roller coaster ride for everyone with a long list of changes. Northwest was supposed to be home to 1,600 students, including a senior class of 401 students. However, with the changes to the school year and college looming for seniors, the revolving door of kids in and out by last name, and the learning models changing from virtual to hybrid, these students are dealing with the senior year like no other.
I think this would have been better if we were sophomores or juniors right now, because then our senior year would have been relatively unaffected. I really miss going to all the football games, and I would have been able to stand in the front row this year.
I'm going to be really sad if we don't get a prom because we didn't get ours last year, but I really want to be able to have some event like that, just feel what it was like before.
Everyone's goals is to just try to work up and practice enough so you can achieve everything you want to senior year.
Exposure to the coronavirus is a main concern for some people in the senior class. And with college right around the corner, this adds another layer of stress.
Well, now more than ever, I really understand what it does and what it can do. And so I'm worried that if I get it, I can pass it on to my parents.
I have a couple concerns. I know just when people get around their friends and people start seeing other people messing around, it would be way easier for people to not take everything seriously.
I feel like I won't be as prepared. I know recently I've been looking for a lot more colleges and stuff and researching.
While this year has looked different, there are also positives to these changes.
In quarantine, I've gotten a lot closer with my parents and my family, and I know that's completely against what everyone else has said, but I've really grown to appreciate my parents and what they do for me.
So I'm really big into movies and different things. So it's been nice having over quarantine just some time to sit down and enjoy those activities. I averaged a movie a day since March through August.
With the many changes and adjustments this year, things are going to look a lot different. But Northwest and its community have the ability and attitude to make this year one to remember. This is Grant Bowen for Husky Headlines.
Sumner, you really need to shape up before you ship out for college next year.
Well, thank goodness I have Daniela to teach me some new skills in the first edition of H2 How To.
Welcome to this edition of H2 How To. Cooking is essential in life, especially when you are on your own or off to college and your parents aren't there to cook for you anymore. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 sandwiches that are fast and easy to make. First sandwich I'll show you how to make is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This sandwich is extremely easy and fast to make. First, you'll need peanut butter, any type of jam or jelly, and 2 pieces of bread. Personally, I like to toast my bread, but if you don't want to, then don't toast it. Get the pieces of bread and spread the jam on one piece and peanut butter on the other. Put it together and you're done. The second sandwich is a grilled ham and cheese. You'll need either butter or mayo, 2 slices of ham, 2 slices of cheese, and 2 pieces of bread. Turn the stove to medium heat and let the pan heat up. While it's doing that, I'm going to spread mayo on both pieces of bread. Depending on what you like, you can either put mayo or butter on the sandwich. Once the pan is heated up, put a piece of bread facing down, then a slice of cheese, some ham, and the last slice of cheese. Then put the last piece of bread facing up. Once cheese is slightly melted on the bottom like this, flip the sandwich. Once the cheese is melted again on the bottom, it's ready to eat. If you want to make a classic grilled cheese, just remove the ham. This sandwich tastes really good if you add tomato soup on the side as well. This final sandwich is a bit more complicated if you're not the best at cooking. We're going to make an open-faced ham, egg, and cheese sandwich, which can be perfect for breakfast or whenever you're hungry. You'll need 2 eggs, 2 slices of ham, 2 slices of cheese, and 2 pieces of bread. You're going to start by putting your pan on medium heat. While that's heating up, you'll place each slice of bread with 1 slice of cheese like this. Once the pan is heated, place the ham on it. You'll cook the ham slightly like this and then place 1 slice on each of the pieces of bread with cheese. Now you're going to drizzle some oil and cook the eggs. It's a bit easier to cook them one at a time like this. While it's cooking, you're going to do this so it doesn't stick to the pan. Once egg whites are cooked or the egg looks like this, you're going to flip it. This may look challenging, but it's a lot easier than it seems. Once it's cooked for a minute, place it on one of the pieces of bread. You're going to repeat this process with the last egg as well. Now we're going to season with salt and pepper. Once you've done that, you can enjoy this without creating a huge mess. And look at that, you just made 3 great tasting sandwiches that are fast and easy to make, are perfect for when you head off to college or are alone during the pandemic. Now go enjoy those sandwiches and the rest of your day. This is Daniela Cabrera for Husky Headlines.
I'm so jealous of everyone who got a new puppy this year.
To wrap up our show, I introduce you to people who took advantage of the 2020 puppy boom. Dog shelters across the nation have reported higher numbers in dog adoptions this year during the COVID-19 crisis.
With everybody being home due to COVID, a lot of people are wanting to go ahead and get a new addition like a puppy, or they have a little bit of extra time so they want to add maybe a senior pet to their family.
I think that 2020 has been a really great year to get some puppies, and clearly we're not alone in that. I know a lot of families have.
We adopted our dog during quarantine because we felt like we were going to have enough time and energy to train and raise a dog.
We have 3 kids in elementary school and 2 working parents. So I think that the reason that this year really worked well for us to make the decision to get dogs is that we are typically very busy with work, with school, activities for the kids, travel. So all of those things that normally come into play as a reason why not to get a puppy kind of went away this year.
Even though there's been a significant increase in dog adoptions this year, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals released data that estimates 40,000 pets have had to be given up by their families due to the COVID-19 crisis. Reasons for abandonment of dogs include job loss and death of owner from COVID.
The main goal of Great Plains is to get as many animals into new homes as possible and kind of help the community with making sure that they can maintain keeping up with their animals as well and help get their animals taken care of with extra food and resources if they need that help. I think if you've got the resources and the time and the energy, then you should most definitely bring a new kiddo in. With having a little bit more time on your hands to be able to train a dog, put the effort into adopting that animal and giving it all the love and care that it does need.
Providing a dog a new home is not only benefiting the dog, but has also been a positive experience for the families who have brought the puppies into their home.
This experience has been great for me and my family. We've had tons of time to train and play with Murphy. I would absolutely recommend this experience to others because it is really great way for families that were previously busy to now get to spend lots of time with a new pet.
I would recommend this experience. I think it's fun. It's been a change of pace for the kids to have something to do at home. They have really kind of brought the kids together. It's been something that all of them equally care about, and once you have them and they're part of your family, it's definitely worth it.
Dogs are just so wonderful. We really don't deserve them. They give us all so much love and stuff that we could never ever repay to them. So having a dog as a companion is a really, really important part of life, I think. Having somebody that looks as you to the only person that they care about. And it's really nice to know that your dog's kind of your number one fan, so they rely on you for everything.
As we continue with this year of uncertainty, rescuing a dog could be a great option for you and your family. Go to Great Plains Animal Rescue or a local shelter near you if you would like to provide a home for a dog in need. This is Abby Allen for Husky Headlines. That's all for our Spooky October show.
Have a great day, Northwest.